Greetings! Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Goblin Stone. This game comes from small developer Orc Chop Games and is their breakout title. It's also a suggestion from some of my viewers who enjoyed my review of Darkest Dungeon 2 and suggested this as it's a similar sort of game. Goblin Stone takes a different approach than your standard RPGs. This time we're controlling the bad guys, the goblins. But contrary to their more nefarious cousins, these guys are just trying to survive in a world that hates them. This game managed to do the impossible. It made me start to feel for a race of beings that's usually the bad guys. And it has a really interesting story that doesn't take itself too seriously. Now, I've really enjoyed this game, but there has been a few bugs, and we're going to talk more of that a little later. But for now, let's check out Goblin Stone.
Dungeons. A most familiar setting for the earnest adventurer. Dark and musty halls, teeming with foul creatures, forgotten treasures, and copious amounts of experience points. Entombed in this particular cavernous hallway is an artifact of profound significance. A gemstone like no other. In pursuit of this artifact, three stoic adventurers delve into the darkness, eager to plumb its depths, unwitting to what lies in wait.
So the game begins with us controlling a group of brave, heroic adventurers, or so it seems. Now I wanted to show you some of the later content in the game, but unfortunately this leads into the issue that people have been reporting with save files being corrupted. Now when I first got this game, I was about 3 hours into the game, and my saves did corrupt and I had to start again. I have not had this problem happen since, and the developer has reported it as fixed. But the reason why there were some negative reviews for this game were that issue, and to be fair, it was a pretty serious one. I have not seen any more evidence of this occurring, and I believe at this stage it is fixed. But it's a shame I couldn't show you the later game, because it really starts to pick up once you build your own goblin colony and you start to expand your influence.
Ah, the common goblin. Widely regarded as a hideous and feeble minion.
Now here we can start to get some of the
Eager
game
to
mechanics.
avance the creature of its experience points. They are sorted.
Now as we're controlling the heroes, we have a great deal of power, and we are going to win these battles by a fair bit. We're going to steamroll these guys, but it's an excellent time to learn the turn-based combat of the game. Now anyone who's played Darkest Dungeon will be very much at home here. There is a timeline, and the goal is to keep ourselves as high on the timeline to do as much damage as we can on the enemies while using our abilities and our positioning to mitigate or remove their damage from us entirely. In this case, it's a pretty stacked fight. We're going to take this guy out before he even has a chance to attack us back. And that's because one, we're very powerful, and two, we are the ones doing the ambushing.
A loot bag. An honest reward for dispatching the squalid creature.
I love the artwork, by the way. It certainly displays the heroes in less than...
Meager spoils. Perhaps the next yield will be a bit more substantial.
It displays them in the less than heroic fashion.
More goblins. It appears that ill fortune has beset these hapless few. Their companion lies crushed beneath the rubble.
Now this is where the morality starts to go a bit grey. Granted, these are goblins and they're meant to be the bad guys, but there's a couple of goblins sitting on the ground crying over their friend who's been horribly killed. My first instinct might not be to go up and to slaughter the rest of them.
They attack the goblins in distress.
Now we've got a bit of a tougher fight here. It's even odds, but what we can do is we can stun these creatures. We don't have to because he's going to go forth, so let's just focus on pure damage. Now by killing him, we've obviously removed him from the timeline and we've removed his ability to attack us. What we can do is capitalize further by using a lightning bolt from our wizard to stun this goblin. Now this of course carries a price. Your most powerful skills will tire you out, and that will mean you are more susceptible to damage. And this is where the positioning is most important. The wizard being at the back is largely safe from attacks. Time to get some revenge. So what we can do is hit this guy pretty hard. We're going to take a hit here. But we can end this fight right quick. Not sure how heroic I should feel.
Such a dismal bounty. One must slay great quantities of goblin for a decent recompense.
Not sure how heroic I feel about slaughtering a bunch of guys grieving over their dead mate who got crushed by rocks, but we will continue on our brave group of adventurers.
They chance upon greedy little burglars. Treasure rightfully theirs, being plundered in front of their very eyes.
That artwork for the halfling is pure nightmare fuel. The guy looks like a complete psychopath.
Quickly, they interrupt and lay claim to the treasure.
Now, if by lay claim we mean another massacre, then yes, we're about to start one right now. Again, our goal is to kill or incapacitate as many of these guys as we can. The wizard, our MVP, is going to smash with a lightning bolt. And as you can see, we moved him down the timeline so that he's not going to have a chance to attack. Again, we don't have the option to attack him again, so let's just go for a direct hit. Now, as you can see, the dwarf has very high armor, and by taking advantage of our positioning, I placed him in a state where he would take the damage from the goblins by delaying their attacks. The hit to the dwarf is a little more than an insect sting. His armor is so thick that he can soak up all but the greatest of attacks. And we've won this fight. The wizard will easily finish off this goblin.
The goblins soon realize they have no chance at survival. In desperation, they hurl their loot at the assailants. Without tarry, the goblins withdraw into the Sanctuary of Darkness. How strange. These creatures were fully expected to die. Perhaps their journey will be worth following.
So from here we have to control the goblins. And
Two little goblins. One despondent, one morose, and both with the shivers.
these goblins are very much weak. Even against the smallest of creatures in the dungeon, they are very much at a disadvantage.
A spider, the occasional snack for a hungry goblin. At this size, however, the roles are reversed.
Now you might not have noticed, but I actually waited for that spider to turn his back so that we can now ambush him. We get the initiative. A few free hits. That should hopefully severely injure this creature. So next thing I'm going to do is go for a stone throw. Try and move him. You can see, move him down the timeline if we can. Didn't work, but we managed to survive and only take minor damage.
As the goblins dispatch the threat.
I don't know how spiders would carry a sack of gold around with them, but hey, I'll take it. Now these caves, even though they're a safe haven for goblins, they're also...
A light, finally. A path out of this abyss.
The caves are also a home for some of the more dangerous creatures of the depths, and they certainly don't have any love for goblins either.
A familiar feeling beckons to them.
So we have a mysterious stone up ahead.
A glint beneath the rubble.
But also an ambush. Now these guys have the initiative against us, which is not great. Now characters are pretty hurt. We need to think smart here. I'm going to go for a attack, and then I'm going to go for a stone throw to see if I can... Is this guy here? Yes. Stone throw to see if I can stun this guy.
Prudence and time are potent medicines.
Now by stunning him, we've mitigated his damage somewhat. Our character is pretty hurt though. We need to end this and end it fast. Okay, I'm going to go for another stone throw and hope that that works out this time. And it did. Our friend is very seriously injured.
They survive the ambush.
And now we get to claim our mysterious prize.
As curiosity surpasses reason, they unearth the strange object. It indeed appears to be the artifact the adventurers so fervently coveted. As the stone awakens from its slumber, it radiates a light both beautiful and blinding. Strange spirits emanate from the stone. They swirl and undulate in jubilation. As the awe-struck goblins peer into the brightness, the spirits speak out. They bid the goblins to seek a sacred place deep within the woods, and there rest the stone. Faced with such a spectacle, the goblins muster what they can to break their stupor. They pocket the stone and head for the surface.
So now we have a new purpose, to take this stone to where we've been told to, and hopefully find a way to regroup and ensure the survival of our people. We're out to safety, or so it seems.
Coming into the light, They are greeted by spring winds and the echo of new leaves stirring in the breeze.
Here we've got an old camp, and I believe this is
A place of respite for the weary.
our best option to restore our health. One of our characters very seriously wounded in that last fight.
They settle in, weary of the road.
Now, our character is still really hurt, so we are going to have to find some other ways to heal him up and continue on our journey. So now we have to head to Old Brook Fields and hopefully find a way to get to the woods beyond. Now here we can do a little bit of examining of our goblins, and we can start to determine which ones have the best statistics. These guys are pretty weak. Standard goblins, they don't have anything that is anything that's greatly superior to any of the other goblins, but there are genetic traits with the different goblins, and you can take advantage of that by breeding them, finding the goblins that have unique markers and breeding them, creating crossbreeds with the best qualities, superior fighting, creating goblins with magical abilities and so forth, as the goblins don't level up, so to speak. And of course, they are somewhat disposable in that they're very, very much weakened, and we will expect to lose many of our people before we can find a way to victory. We have to actually expect and prepare against that, having a large population.
A bittersweet reunion, as they discover their camp had been further ravaged by adventurers. The goblin lies barely breathing. Their dungeon loot was never treasure, but medicines direly needed for their wounded. With their loot now lost, they wallow in despair. A queer sensation interrupts the morose scene, as the stone artifact acts on its own accord. The group beholds the spectacle, agape with wonder. The languishing goblin is bathed in a warm glow. Its wounds slowly mend as it returns to health. As the light subsides, bewilderment gradually gives way to joy. Reunited, they now set out for the forest's edge.
So we now have some very powerful goblins, and these guys are able to survive a fight far more efficiently with better armor and also the ability to equip weapons. We don't have any yet. Now we do. Now this is of course nothing more than a fancy stick, but we definitely want to give our goblins as bigger advantages as we can. And we've also got a rock on a stick. Excellent. So now I've got 2 armed and armored goblins.
They chance upon a carcass, concealed by the stench. A small trove of unclaimed meat and giblets.
Excellent, so we've got some meat and leather and bone. We're going to take everything we can use. Oh, we can harvest multiple times. I didn't know that. There we go. Taking all those.
Scavenged to the bone, leaving nothing to waste.
I missed that on my first playthrough.
Among the treasure, a lone iron key. What might it unlock?
Now, as you recall, there was a door here, locked. We can take the key back and see what's underneath the ground. More treasures maybe, more goblins, more goodies. Now our group is a bit more prepared for the depths. We're going to see what lies underneath the ground. We've still got a fair way to go, and even with our new goblins, being deeper in the forest means a greater danger.
Wolves, such dreadful beasts. Their filthy maws salivate for goblin flesh.
Wolves are very, very dangerous, but now we have weapons and armor, we can play this a bit smart. Now, I have a few abilities here. I'm going to start with the ability to bleed an enemy. Wolves are very, very dangerous, but if we can use abilities to hamstring them, to stun them, and to cause them to bleed, we can drain out their high health. Now, I have a few options here. This guy is going to get another attack. I am going to go for a direct attack. And then I'm going to use a... Yeah, I'm going to use a bleeding attack. Now, both of these wolves are now bleeding. They're going to take attacks, take damage each turn. My goal now is to try and delay them as much as possible to prevent them from attacking. So let's stun this guy. And you can see we're to great effect. We're using our stunning abilities. You can see the bleeding is doing great damage here. So what we can do is, let's see if we can, that does 10 damage, that's not going to work. Let's use Wakey Wakey. This is his ultimate attack, having multiple hits. Now these guys are on the ropes, they're pretty hurt, so if we now use this, I don't think it's going to, no, I don't think it's going to kill him. Let's reopen his wounds. Now he's got double bleeding now. There's this guy, he's going to bleed out before too long. So let's continue to stun them. He's probably going to die from his wounds. There you go. Fantastic. We played this out excellently. And now he's taken so many hits, so much bleeding damage, that we can simply finish him off.
A goblin's world is full of peril, and there are many who hunt them.
Again, these forest animals seem to have a trust fund set up for them. Beautiful. We can't harvest the berry bushes multiple times, but those berries will come in handy later when we need to heal ourselves. I'm not going to do it yet because most of our wounds are rather minor, and healing items are limited.
They breach through to the edge of the woods. At last they find a pathway out and venture into the open world.
So we've made it to safety. And we've done quite well. We gathered all the treasure, we gathered all the food. And we've got a fair bit of money. We've finally reached the ancient ruins, and here it is where we're going to have our final battle that will determine whether we can get to the ancient stone or whether we will fall against these rather dangerous predators of the wolves. Now what I've done is I've moved my formation around. I've got my heavy hitters up front. These guys have weapons and armor, so they should be able to soak up most of the damage. They've also got... actually, I might just change that somewhat. Perfect. This guy can use his sword to place a bleed, so can he. And the peons can use their stones to stun enemies and also do a bit of direct damage as well. I think this formation will work quite well.
They enter a deeper part of the woods. The scent of danger lingers heavy.
Now in this part of the woods,
an adventurer rests. Quietly they sneak.
It's a group of adventurers, and now we're up against humans.
Caught off guard. Braces for battle.
Now it's 4 against 1, but we should not underestimate this guy. Let's see if I can... Yeah, let's start with this. Actually, he's 5th. Let's go with the normal attack. And then we're going to go with a punch. And then we're going to go with the... Can I kill him with a normal attack? No, I can't. Oh, no, I will. Yeah, kill. Nicely done.
To be felled by the goblins he hunts. How shameful. His quarry watches you from behind iron bars.
Now we have a goblin who's been imprisoned. Of course, we're going to take him. He has a wooden stool as a weapon, most deadly. I believe he would be an excellent choice to have in the starting lineup, just because he has some defensive abilities. That's good. I like that. Welcome to the team, buddy.
Another one joins their company. This fellow is clad in armor.
Our group grows. Now here we have a choice. We can go different ways, and we can pick either resources or a treasure. I believe a treasure would be more useful at this stage, because it could be weapons or armor. Okay, no, it's just money. Pity. Now there's a bit of RNG involved in these choices. Sometimes you get a really good choice and some very, very powerful loot, and sometimes you get a bunch of rubbish. Ooh. Now in this case, we've actually found some healing items. 30% life. That is a very, very excellent healing item, and I'm sure we're going to use that at some point in the future. And we've got some more carcasses we can harvest for food. I'm hoping we'll get some meat. No, leather and bone. That's okay. We can take that.
This will come in handy.
Now I've discovered
will be put to good use.
another little bug here. One of the pop-ups remains, so it's not a big deal. It's a minor UI bug, but developer, take heed. I hope that goes away once we transition to the next screen. Oh, it's not. It's going to stay there. It's
There
stuck
was
there.
once a time when goblins were plentiful in these woods. These few, the last of the green goblins, are all that remain.
We're getting paid.
Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet.
Thank you.
Nothing must be wasted.
Okay, at least the pop-up's gone away now. Now, normally the first thought would be to attack the orcs, because orcs are bad guys, but remember, we're the bad guys too.
They happen upon a downtrodden orc still clad in rags and shackles. At his feet, a freshly dug grave adorned with a bone club buried in the barrow. The goblins timorously disturb the orc in his mourning. Uneasily, they speak to him, ask about a nearby ruin in these woods. Barely noticing their presence, the orc wipes away a tear with one hand as he raises the other to give direction. Politely thanking the grieving orc, the goblins discreetly withdraw and leave him to his sorrow.
So ironically, it seems the goblins have more sympathy and mercy than some of the humans. Now we have a camp here. All of our characters are fully healed, so we can actually use the other ability.
Place of tranquility and rest.
To increase our combat speed.
They rest and reflect upon the day's events.
So they're meditating. They have a nice little boost to their attack speed, and here we can go for resources or treasure. Let's go for a treasure again. I may regret this, but it seemed to go well last time. Let's see what we can get. Goodies or more rubbish, more gold. I mean, the gold is very handy. We can trade with it later on. We're up against another wolf, but this time the table's turned. We have a pretty big group of adventurers now, and we've also got a bit of more of an idea on how to best fight these guys using bleed and stunning attacks. Now our new guy's up. He's going to. Ooh, let's go. Let's use a stun attack. Very effective. Then what we can do is go. Is he going to die from that? No, he's not. Let's just go for a chop. Now, already on our first attack, we have pretty much eliminated this first wolf.
Down with you.
Very nice. Now, we did take a hit, but we will prevent him from doing any further damage. I'm going to hit him with as much damage as I can right now. Let's go for a bleed attack. And a stun. Can we? Yeah, let's hit him with a shield bash. Very nice. So he's going to attack us the next turn. Let's try a stone throw. It's a bit of a risk, but it may work. Hey, nice. And now he's already stunned. I don't know if it'll work twice, so let's just... He's going to hit one of our armored characters, but that's okay. Oh no, we can end this right now. Very nice. So that pack of wolves, they only got one hit on me. Quite well done. We've got a fair bit of cash now. A lot of cash. Now we're not going to be able to use this until we hit the...
Just beyond an old, forgotten watchtower, held fast by a great forest tree.
We're not going to be able to use it until we get to our base, where we're going to set up. But when we get there, we're going to have quite a substantial nest egg. 400 gold. Unfortunately, we've got some human adventurers here.
Humans have taken the reins. The road ahead will not be easy.
Now, these guys are a little bit better armed and armoured than our previous foes. We're going to need to play this a bit more carefully. So first thing I'm going to do is to use bleed, because bleed works really well against armoured foes. Then I'm going to use a... Let's go with the stun. Nicely done. So he's stunned, and I can add more bleed. Then I can hit him. Yeah, let's hit him with another attack.
Prudence dictates caution.
That is not good. Our friend is very, very seriously hurt. We need to end this as quickly as we can. Let's just keep hitting him. I'm just gonna... Okay, he's already bleeding, so I think exterminate is our best bet.
Crippling strike.
Very nice. So now the odds are somewhat more even, and I'm going to focus on just hitting this guy as hard as I can, inflicting as much bleed as I can. And this guy, let's go with the stone throw, because I do not want my goblin to die.
Nicely done.
Excellent. Now he's moved to the back. This guy's the one that I want to try and keep out of the fight. So let's pick some wounds. He's got a lot of bleeding on him now. And I can hit intercept. And this means if he does attack, our shielded goblin is going to take the hit. He's going to get us again. So let's try another stun.
A bold attack.
Quite well done. Quite well done. Let's bleed him again. There we go. He's got a massive amount of bleeding. This guy's probably spraying blood anime style. Let's just hit him again for another bleed, because he's gonna... Okay, so 3 is the limit. That's okay. Very nice. So we lost a bit of armor, but that's okay. Let's stun him. I want to make sure that he's not going anywhere. And I reckon the bleeding will take care of the rest. Yes. Very well done. And we've got some very nice armor here. I'm going to take all this. And a new member of our team, who is a wizard. Now this guy has some very potent abilities. He's not as strong as a regular wizard, using some rather crude magical attacks, but very, very powerful.
Garbed in peculiar vestments. It appears quite grateful and joins the group.
Well, he's probably going to be carved to pieces, so let's use some of our healing items. 10% life. I'm going to hang on to these for later, so let's eat that, and we're going to feed our friend here. There we go. I reckon that'll be fine. We'll hang on to the last few. That's patched him up for now. We want to try and limit deaths. We are going to have a lot of death in the game. Our goblins aren't hardy creatures. They are going to go down, but I want to try and limit it as best I can.
Quietly, the goblins approach the ruins, peering from behind a bush. They watch nervously as a pair of human adventurers awkwardly stumble out of the ruins. Deeming it too dangerous to proceed, they search for a more discreet way to enter the ancient ruin.
So we're going to try and sneak our way on in. Let's see how this plays out, shall we?
The goblins make their way under the tree through a dark and uncomfortably narrow tunnel. They miserably crawl through the crannies until they reach the tunnel's end. Unbeknownst to the goblins, they find themselves intruding into a human-infested establishment hidden beneath the tree. The crowd scatters in a frenzy at the sight of the unexpected trespassers. As the chaos ebbs, a surly innkeeper and his flunkies are all that remain. He turns to the goblins with a baleful glare, intent on exacting retribution.
So we're up against the first boss, and even though this guy is essentially a cook, we do not want to underestimate him. He's very hardy, and he has a really nasty summoning ability. Now we've got a bit of a hint here to use stun and slow and bleeding. Bleeding is the MVP of this game. You should be using that as much as possible. So I'm going to be heavily relying on bleeding and stunning to get this guy. Yeah, he's going to be using this ability a fair bit. So I'm going to let's armor up first. Then what we can do is use the slicing dagger to inflict bleed. Then you see this guy's going forth, so let's let's just go for a normal attack for now. Actually, let's shove this guy because I don't want him. There we go. Okay, I want to try and see if I can move him to the back. It's not going to work. That's all right. Now this guy's at the front, so what we can do is we can use slow. Actually, no, he's at the front, so let's maybe hit him with a hex.
A precise assault.
Very nice. Then I want to try and see if I can shield bash this guy, stun him, and then we want more. Damn, I wanted to. He's moved to the back, so I can't really do much about that right now. Oh, you doofus! So this is perfect. Let's just hit this guy. He's going to attack next turn, so let's see if we can stun him. No, because of his high armor, that's not going to work. This is going to be a very long fight, so we want to try and deal as much damage on this guy as I can. Again, another hex. And I'm going to try and see if I can hit him. Yeah, let's go here. We've stunned him again, and now he's in the perfect position. Let's inflict more bleeding. I want 3 bleeding on this guy at all times. Oh, you've come to the front again. Excellent. Let's give him another love tap. Yeah, I would throw a stone, but I think he's too armored. It's not going to work. Okay, now I can use Wakey Wakey. Do I have... Oh yes, I can inflict... No, I can't inflict bleed on him again. Let's give him a wakey.
Exceptional skill. A powerful start.
Very nice. Now my guys aren't really... No one's really that hurt, so I'm just going to focus on direct damage. The more damage I do to him, the faster this battle's going to end. So wakey again. As you can see, the bleeding is really starting to take effect. I am next going to use... Yeah, I'm going to use Intercept. From him. This means that any attacks are going to go to my shield bearer, and again, we don't really have a lot here. We need to wait for the right opportunity. You can see the massive bleeding is extremely damaging. We want to try and keep this up. More bleeding, more damage. Oh, and as you can see, the intercept from the shield bearer came in clutch. If that hit had have connected with my mage, he probably would have taken his head off. Now I can't use Hex. That will hit the two guys at the front. These guys just keep coming, so there's no point hitting them. But what I can do is I can use this to give a speed boost to my next goblin. Then I can inflict bleed on this guy. And then... No, I can't do anything with that. I really wanted to... Oh, there we go. Another bleed. I think that will replace... No, it doesn't work. That's okay. Now we are taking damage. They're starting to wear us down, but the bleeding is doing far more damage to him than what it is his attacks are doing to me. As long as I keep intercepting his attacks with my shield bearer, and I keep using my magical abilities to do that direct damage, I think we've got this.
Injuries mount.
Okay, one of our goblins is pretty hurt, so we need to end this, and we need to end this fast. Ouch. Luckily he hit my armored character, so... We've got this. We need to inflict more bleed. He's on the ropes. He's definitely on the ropes, so... I'm going to intercept his next attack. Actually, can I hit him with a shield bash? No, I can't. That's okay. He does the most damage out of everyone. Intercepting his next attack should buy us the time we need to finish this fight. And now, our heavy hitter comes in clutch with the last magical attack, decimating. Now we still have to deal with the flunkies, but these guys are not a threat of any sort.
Shattering blow.
It's just that you keep summoning them. Now they're dead. It's a simple matter to end this fight. Very nicely done.
The taste of victory seldom grows stale.
So all of our goblins very, very seriously hurt. We managed to squeak through this fight, and we've also gotten a pretty nice new weapon
They can
here.
carry no more.
And I'm going to equip okay, I don't seem to be able to equip one of my other goblins with it, but that's okay.
They can carry no more.
we've made it. We've defeated our first boss. We've gotten a very, very nice pot of gold. Some very good loot. And our goblins have become far stronger. With new gear and additional goblins.
The goblins descend through an old garbage chute. As their eyes adjust to the darkness, an uncanny landscape of endless human refuse reveals itself.
We've found the receptacle for the stone.
Recalling what the stone has told them, they come to the realization that beneath all the filth lies what they seek. Stone in hand, they gingerly place it atop the edifice. Suddenly, as if disturbed from a great slumber, violent waves erupt, filling the cavern with relentless energy. Mounds of human waste are swept aside by the vindictive force, revealing the great goblin lair, previously thought to have been lost to antiquity.
So finally we have established a home. We have a new home. We have a place for our goblins to rebuild their numbers. And we can start to plan for the long term. So I'm going to leave it at that for the video. This is a fantastic mix of Darkest Dungeon and just a hint of XCOM. I love the base building mechanics and I would like to show you that in a bit more detail in the future video. But for now, I highly recommend this game. Now that the save issue has been resolved and you can actually save the game, and I have not lost my save since, I can actually change my recommendation to highly recommended. It was the only thing that was making me on the fence about whether I could, in good conscience, recommend this. But as you can see, the reviews were a bit mixed. A lot of people were frustrated, including myself, at losing their saves. I would love to show you some of the later campaign. But now this is fixed, you guys can jump in, go and check this game out. If you're a fan of Darkest Dungeon, then this is an absolutely stellar choice. It's a budget, turn-based strategy game with a different approach to your normal fantasy tropes, and I really enjoyed it. The goblins, against all odds, are pretty likable. I actually felt for the little guys, and I've really enjoyed playing something that's a little bit different to your standard RPG. But go and check this game out. A big thank you to my viewers for recommending this, and a big thank you to the developers for letting me showcase the game. If you enjoyed this, come and check me out next time when we have a look at another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.